Welcome back, 525. Apple CEO Tim Cook unveiled 2 new iPhones, as well as the new Apple TV, iPad Pro, Apple Watches. So much to talk about. Joining us this morning with all those developments is tech consultant Francie Black. Thanks so much. We speculated yesterday at noon what would happen. Tell us what did happen.
Yeah, so the reality is here. Well, one of the first things that Tim Cook announced was about the Apple TV, and he really wants to redefine how we interact with our television sets. So one of the first things that you're going to see is on the new Apple TV is there's actually, to control it on the remote, is actually a touchscreen surface, very much like we have on our iPhones or our iPads.
So not the buttons necessarily.
So not the buttons. You actually navigate by swiping like you would on an iPad or an iPhone. Now, we talked yesterday about potentially Siri being able to talk to your remote to have it find movies and shows. So you can actually talk to your remote, pressing the Siri button, say, show me family movies, animated ones only, and Siri will find those and play those on your television. So pretty amazing. You can actually be watching a show and say, hey, Siri, using your remote, and say, give me more information about this show, or who are the actors in the show, and it'll literally pop up with more information about that TV show.
Wow, right while you're watching it. That's amazing.
While you're watching. Now, the big thing that Tim Cook announced was that the new Apple TV has a whole app section. So just like we have app developers for the iPhone and the iPad, they can also develop apps for the Apple TV. So I think we're going to see some incredible gaming happen on your big screen. Activity apps such as workout apps, these are already available, so you can work out in your living room, Zillow, Airbnb.
So using your little phone or whatever you can use if you've got a big flat screen TV, the app on it.
That's exactly right.
Cool.
So this is opening up a whole new world in the Apple TV space. Now, the other big announcement was the extra large iPad. So it is about 12.9 inches across. But what's so amazing about it is it's loaded with millions of pixels, which gives you such depth and perception. So when you're watching a movie, you get this really neat experience with it, just brighter, more depth. But you can also get a lot more control down to the pixels. And so they announced an Apple Pencil. And it's not just any ordinary pencil. It allows you to get such precision for drawing and design. So maybe taking this into the corporate environment, it actually has electronics in the tip that interface specifically with the iPad Pro, the new one, to give you drawings like this. Is that unreal? And even for business too.
The Magnadoodle has come a long way, right?
long, long way. Medical apps and so forth, all for the iPad Pro. So Apple Watch, do we have time or are we out of time? We'll save it
coming up in the next hour. Talk about the Apple Watch. So many things to get through.
More to come.
A lot of cool developments. Apple CEO Tim Cook unveiled 2 new iPhones, as well as the new Apple TV, iPad Pro, Apple Watches. So much to talk about. Joining us this morning with those developments is tech consultant Francie Black. You know, at noon yesterday, we could only speculate. That announcement came at 1 o'clock. Tell us what we know now.
Wow, well, there are all kinds of announcements. Starting off with the iPhone. So there's not a new form factor per se, but there is the 6S is what they're calling it, and the 6S Plus. And what it comes with is a brand new camera that is 12 megapixels, so you get really rich pictures. You also get a front-facing, for selfies, flash.
A selfie flash, just what we all need. Okay.
And a faster processor, and actually a new gesture as well. That's the 3D Force Touch that allows you to get little peeks into content without actually moving into a new app. So it's really neat and amazing. It interacts with the new OS.
Okay.
With the Apple Watch, there's some new apps coming, including Facebook Messenger and a whole bunch more, transit directions, things like that. And then some really beautiful designs, high-end.
Air May is doing these, yeah.
And they're beautiful. So those are some things to watch for in the Apple Watch category. Now, the big news was with Apple TV.
This is cool. This is really interesting.
Yeah, so with the Apple TV, Apple's really set out to kind of change how we interact with our televisions in our living room. Starting with the new remote, you can actually touch this, much like you interact with your iPhone or your iPad, to navigate through movies and shows. Now, there's also this cool Siri button on your remote, and you can talk to your remote and say, hey, show me family movies, animated ones only, and it will find those and give you selections to choose from.
So now you can talk to your TV. The remote has basically been redesigned entirely,
completely.
So that you just touch it. No buttons there. You can swipe instead.
Exactly, exactly. So you can do things like when a TV show is on, you can say, who are the actors in the show or in this movie? And it'll give you additional information, all by speaking to Siri. Really crazy. Now, the big thing is new apps also coming to Apple TV. So much like we have apps that make our phones and iPads so powerful, the Apple TV is getting those as well. So you're going to see some really dynamic games. This one is Guitar Hero. Apps for exercising, so you can exercise in your living room, so using your small screen, Zillow, lots of apps all coming so that you can do those things and search for
So
real
your
estate.
big flat screen TV becomes your computer, becomes your everything, and you can just talk to it.
That's exactly right.
Francie,
Yeah.
thanks so much. You've got a great website too.
Thank you. iPadwisdom.com, and if you're interested in the monthly newsletter that I send out with tech tips and information like this with lots of details, you can subscribe to that at info@ipadwisdom.com.
Okay, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank
So
you.
much to learn.